Well, welcome, guys, and again, thank you so much to another great weekly call here in Australia. Guys, I have to say tonight is a privilege because we've got another great speaker on tonight, and it's a continuation of last week. We wanted to cover in more depth about the Serum product. This product has a lot of great technology in it, and when you look at what is available within the product itself and the results that people are getting, it's simply outstanding. Now, guys, I know better person than our international product manager, Henrick Schultz. Henrick's going to come on and share with his, just the knowledge that he's got with the years that he's been with Zinzino as a company and now heading up the international product department. Henrick, I want to bring you on as quick as possible. I know you've got a number of slides to go through, but could you do us a favor and get as deep as you can into the product formulation, into the workings of this incredible product called the Zinzino Serum? Thank you, Henrick.
Thank you very much, Rob. Thank you for having me. Glad to be of any help, and hopefully I can shed some information about the product we have. I also like to simplify it in a way to point out the most important thing about the product. Otherwise, we will be spending hours and hours. But let me just point out that, again, Zinzino, we are the odd one out. We hate to be compared with all the other moisturizers, serums, and whatever you have out there. We're really different. So let me also then start with saying most people, they do want to have a good skin situation, less wrinkles, smaller pores, less redness and so on in the skin. And as we look at it, it's a total solution. And let me point out then the most important thing when you want to do a skin, it's going to be a few seconds on this. This is actually the more important one when you're thinking about having a good skin. And I also summarized it in a second slide here so that you can review it later if you want to. But let me just point out that the balance oil, it reduces chronic inflammation, which you also have in the cells, and that's the skin, right? So it then minimizes the breakdown of the skin that you normally have. And the fatty acids, EPA and DHA, they affect the membrane fluidity. And that increases the blood flow to the skin, which is also good if you want a healthy skin. EPA and DHA increases the quality and elasticity, and that's also important. And then we have the antioxidants that slows down the aging process. So the balance oil is really important. And we did a study over a number of days and measured it in a professional way. And we can see that the elasticity increased a lot if you do take the balance oil. So guys, don't forget about the balance oil. Now, coming back to the serum, we have a situation where this happens over time. And there is not so much you normally can do about it. So why does this happen? Well, basically, the reduction of collagen, that is thickness, and elastin, which is the elasticity, the rubber band effect, so to say, that is the problem. That makes the skin thinner and less elastic, and therefore you have lines and wrinkles. End of story. That is the cause, that is the reason, and that we need to look at. So why is it then reduced? Well, there are some major issues. You are getting older. You can't do anything about it. Sun is a bad one. Those who are tanning a lot will find out when they are sort of 50, 60, 70 years old, the skin is very bad. It's wrinkled like crazy. So stay out of the sun or use a lot of sunblocks. Then we have two types of malnutrition. The one that you find in poor countries where you don't have food, or like in America where you're eating super processed food that sort of makes you happy when you eat it, but there are nothing, no nutrients or anything in it really. It's just, bad stuff. Then without nutrients, your skin will also be damaged because you need nutrients in the skin. And then we have the number one cause of inflammation, and that is cigarettes. That is really, really bad for chronic inflammations. And again, mentioning inflammations, that's where we mentioned where I mentioned the balance oil that reduces the inflammation. So even if you're a smoker, then it's going to be bad for your skin. Take the balance oil and you get an improvement there. So these are the causes, and you know what happens with the collagen and the elastins. Let me also show a picture that is important if you've never been interested in skin before, but this is very important. Skin grows from below and sheds off from the top. You can see that in the sun when you're tanning, that dead skin is always on the top of the skin, and it falls off, and then it grows from behind. And normally it grows in the same pace as it sheds off. Otherwise, we would, when we are young, have, you know, skin like an elephant. So this is important to understand, from the below and up. Now, this is the situation over your life, that when you're young, it rebuilds in the same speed. And therefore, a young child do not have wrinkles, right? And as you grow older, the rebuild slows down. And when you're really old, like my mother, who's 92, then rebuild is, it's not happening much, and she's got wrinkles everywhere. And that's just where it is. Now, what can we do about it? Well, coming back to our product, our serum, let me point out a few things. We want to restore moisture in the skin, and therefore we've added some ingredients for that. Then we want to protect the skin and reduce the breakdown of the skin. And then we added like squalene, which comes from the olives, and we added some other ingredients that is good for protecting and reducing the breakdown. We also added some other ingredients for relief, and they are anti-inflammatory for the skin. And this is good. This does not really make us totally outstanding and different, because these ingredients are found in several other companies' serums and moisturizers and so on. Not all of them have exactly all of these that we do have, but they have some, and it doesn't make us stick out. But in summary, it protects, it smoothens, it moisturizes, and are inflammatory. What is so different? Yeah, well, I need to show you this one again. This one is a picture that explains why do we have a skin. It is the first line of defense. It is the first immune system we have. And the reason for showing you this is, if you go back 10 or 20 or 50,000 years in time, if the skin got broken, then it was a lethal situation. Pathogens could enter into your body because the first line of defense was broken. Now, the brain is very clever and says, we cannot live out in the wilderness 50,000 years ago with a broken skin and pathogens. We would die within a day or so. So the brain says, let's make a system that takes care of that situation. And this is how it works. You could try it with a pin, or if you damage yourself and have an open wound, there will be things entering into your system, and the cells will react on that and send a signal to the brain, please create more matrix, more elastin, more collagen, i.e. more skin, and do it faster than normally. We don't have time to wait for a normal healing process. We need to increase and make it happen fast to avoid this absolutely lethal situation. And that's where our product comes in. So we added two ingredients they're called copper peptides, and then the beta-glucans that comes from yeast. There are also beta-glucans that comes from oats, but that has nothing to do with this. These are the ones that comes from yeast. And they are quite clever. When they are put on top of your skin, they will actually penetrate and come inside. And there they will meet those cells, and the cells will say, hey, what are you doing here? How do you get here? The skin must be broken. Let's do something about it. So they send signals to the brain, and the brain sends instructions back to the fiber-making cells, the fibroblast. Produce more skin, more elastin, and more collagen, and do it super fast. Go into turbo mode. We need to make sure we get out of this lethal situation. Now, the skin in our case is actually not broken. So we are producing more elastin and more collagen in a faster way on skin that it actually is not broken. And that increases the amount of elastin and the collagen in the skin, and it becomes thicker. And when it becomes thicker, the lines and the wrinkles will disappear. That's the magic. That is the most important ingredient, and that is what really makes us stand out from all the other ones. So we trick the brain, it's broken, even though it's not. We produce more collagen and elastin fast, and the skin becomes thicker and more elastic, and a positive effect. Simple as that. But we are the only one doing it at the moment. So that is the most important thing to remember. Now, we did some studies on this, where you measure elasticity, and over a 60-day period, it increased. So that was really good, 18% in elasticity. That is really, really interesting. Now, as you remember, I spoke about the oil in the beginning, and when we did test with the oil and the serum together, we do get the best results. So it's a matter of a choice to say, if you want a good result in your skin, here's the serum. If you want the best result, take the oil, which is also good for the skin, and you have the best results. So there's the secret, there's the product, simple as that. Now, there are a few things I'd like to mention also to prepare you sort of in advance for some questions and some experiences. We're only using natural ingredients, not tested on any animals and so on. So it's really good. We've checked out all the ingredients versus all these companies that check for bad things, and we come out with top-notch ingredients. So that's good. We don't use any paraben and so on, no preservatives at all. And we don't use any fragrances either. And that is important to tell and experience if you find a new customer, because it will smell a bit from the squalene, from olives, and the beta-glucans, a natural smell. There might be somebody who is used to buying expensive serum with an expensive fragrance in it, and then says, oh, compared to this, your serum smells like nothing good at all. And then they will have a negative experience. So prepare your customers and partners who are going to try the product. It smells of natural olive squalene and beta-glucans. And we did not put any fragrances into it to hide it or make you feel like you almost wear a perfume. Most importantly, our product works. And you apply it sparingly morning and night. Apply sparingly, yes. Different places in your face, like the forehead, it's thicker, and therefore the skin is thicker, and you need to apply maybe more sparingly than you do on your cheeks. If you're using day and night cream, you put it on first. Should you experience that your day and night cream are sort of cracking up a bit, then you're using too much of our serum. From what age? Well, young people have perfect skin that grows from below in the same pace as they shed off. There's no point in using the serum in that case. But you can use it if you're a child or if you're young on sunburns and acne and rashes and so on. Another thing, since we are not using any preservatives or parabens and so on to keep the product, we use an airless bottle pump system. So it sucks out the serum, and we do not pump any air into the container. Because air contains pathogens and other stuff. And if that gets into the serum, it gets contaminated, and then it can get bad after some time. That's why you shouldn't even open it either, because then you let air inside. And since we don't use anything, then you could destroy the product. Not for a week, not for 2 weeks, but over some time if you're not using it so often. When it's empty, you think, just leave it for a day. And then the next day, you can actually find you can pump up some more serum. And then you leave it for a day or two, and then you can pump out more again. The same thing with a small test tube with only 5 milliliter. That one is not an airless, but then again, you're only to use it maybe for 3, 4, 5 days. And so it cannot go bad. and leave it standing. And once you think there is no more, leave it standing. And the next day you will find there is even more into the product. So those are a few tricks and things to remember when you are introducing the product or selling the product. Now, it's not only for wrinkles. I mentioned acne and rashes and things like that. And I'd like to share you two pictures from some friends in Iceland. One of the girls, she is 29 and the boy is 21, if I remember correctly. This is her situation before and after, using balance oil and using the serum. And for her, this was life-changing. She was suddenly more interested in meeting friends without using tons of makeup. That's quite cool and makes me proud of the product. This is another guy, Olafur from Iceland. This is also his situation using balance oil and using the serum. So you can use it for various purposes and you will find an effect. Let me also point out this situation that doesn't happen over a day or two or three. It happens over a long time. So unless you take a before and after picture with a professional camera, it will be difficult to remember how did my skin look 20 days, 100 days, 200 days ago. So you need to make a photograph and try to remember, 100 days later, how did it look? So there we are. That is the secret. That is the beauty of the serum. And the most important one is it tricks the brain to use more collagen and elastin. All the other ingredients are doing a fantastic job, but they are not the ones that make our products stand out from all the competition. Guys, that was my short story about the skin serum. Hopefully, I've answered all the questions that you potentially had. Otherwise, Rob, if there is anything, I'm here. Thank you.
Hey, fantastic, Henrick, and thank you so much for that short presentation and overview about the serum. Now, Henrick, can you just talk to us about, I believe it's a global product. Am I right in that understanding that this formulation is the same in every country we're open in?
Yes. And actually it goes for all the products within the Zinzino that we have the exactly same formulation in each country, every country in the world.
Fantastic. Now that's included in the oils and the serum.
Yes, sir.
That is sensational. That is great. And what is the shelf life of the product? So from date of manufacturing, what have we got? Normally 2 years or 18 months shelf life?
On the balance oil, we have a 3-year shelf life. We could have 5 years because the product never goes bad or rancid. However, the flavoring are disappearing from the balance oil, and the disappearance increases with age. So after 3 years, it tastes more fish oil and olive oil than we want to. So therefore, we don't want to have more than 3 years. And the serum, I believe we have something like 18 months after production. So plenty of time to use it, no problem.
Fantastic. No, because that's important as we're global shipping the product around the world to make sure that we do have that 18 months to 2 year expiry line. Very, very important because some companies only do 12 months. And as you know, it takes 2 to 3 months to get it to Australia on a ship. And then there's normally only 6 months expiry and all that type of stuff. So there's some silly things that happen in the skincare world.
Yeah.
Do we have full patents on the products? How's the formulations on the products? Which products have actually got patents and which ones are patent pending?
So the only product that we actually patented is the vegan oil, because we found out in the vegan oil that we were the only one that found out the combination of algae oil, olive oil, and then the stearidonic acid oil, the echium seed oil. We were the only one that put that together, and therefore we could actually make a patent on that one, which we now have in more or less, I wouldn't say all the countries, because we have Africa and we have some special countries here and there, but in most civilized countries, we do have a patent on that one. The balance oil cannot be patented. It doesn't have that kind of formulation, and it goes the same with the serum. There are not enough things in it to make it so unique so you can patent it.
We just have those couple of special ingredients that that do the right job to get the right results that people are looking for, correct?
Yeah. What we do know is, and we've checked out since we've had the serum now for a number of years, is that it's like with the balance oil. Our competition are selling tons of serums in the market without adding these extra expensive ingredients that we did. And if you can sell a product that sort of is like a cover-up, you put it like paint on top of your skin, it becomes soft and it moisturizes, and then it covers like paint your face, and you think like, oh, the wrinkles are gone. If you can sell that without adding these super duper expensive ingredients, they don't want to do it. And we are the ones saying that, well, we don't put paint in the face to cover up. We want something that really works, and therefore we make a more expensive product. So
yeah. And the important factor there as well, Henrick, okay, is that it is a unisex product, okay? So all of our products are not targeted just for a woman or for a man. They are fully unisex products, correct?
I after shaving, I let my skin dry for half a minute, something like that. Then I use it all over my face. I use it even on the eyelids and in the forehead and the cheeks and the nose and around the mouth and so on. Morning and night.
Look, and that's what I've done. I've replaced my previous skincare regime with just a serum, and I'm telling you guys, I'm having great results with it. Just the feeling and the softness of my face. I believe that I had great skin up until I've used the serum and the balanced oil as a combination. And I'm with you, Henrick. I'm the same age as you, and it fascinates me how I believe and how people are saying your skin looks like it's glowing.
Yeah. So it is working, and that's like we said with the balance oil. What makes it stand out really is it works. I've had some experience with some customers that say that they don't like the smell of the squalene and the beta-glucans. And then I say, well, once you put it on and after 1 minute, how does it smell? And then I say, well, in that case, the smell is gone. Yeah. So if you want something that works and it happens to have a smell that is a bit too rich for you, and then after a minute it's gone, what's the problem? And then they say, well, there is no problem anymore.
Yeah, no, look, and it's like some of the results that you've shown us, okay, and like, people with acne and eczema, eczema. You've had results with eczema as well.
Yeah, but then again, eczema it's so different. So you could say that eczema is not eczema. It's probably 500 different kinds of reason for the eczema. So you can try it. There is nothing. We have never heard anything bad coming from somebody trying it. But if it works, it works. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work, because there's so many different. So was that the last question, or?
Yeah, and do you actually balance that up with balanced oil as well?
Me?
Yes.
I've been on balance oil since 2012, every single day.
Fantastic. And you're like me, you wouldn't live a day without it, I take it?
As I mentioned last time, and I also was at the event in Oslo this weekend, and I mentioned to them, I'm 58. I'm taking it to prevent bad things from happening. It's like why you have an alarm on your car or a burglar alarm on your house. I'm 58. I see what happens to friends around me in my similar age group. They get this and they get that, and I get nothing. I do whatever I can to prevent bad things from happening to me.
Yeah, I always say preventative maintenance is a great insurance policy. And we talk about like extend and protect and, Xenobotics and those other products that are going to come to Australia eventually. Guys, as they come, Henrick, we just add them into our regime, correct?
Yeah, I mean, and the only, as I mentioned last time, and also mentioned to the Emily from the office here, that we need to find factories down in Australia that can make them for us. The restrictions on how to import and what to import and the regulations about it is is quite protective, if I am to be quite honest, that the Australian government prefers us to use Australian companies rather than having European factories making that product. It will come eventually.
Yeah, and we're planning or targeting towards the end of the year or first quarter of next year. All right, Henrick, fantastic. Let's wrap this up. We're on the 30 minutes now, so I appreciate your time, guys. And Henrick, thank you so much for coming on for us 2 nights in a row and sharing great wisdom with us. And again, we appreciate you so much for all the work that you do for us here in Australia, and as we start opening the world up with this incredible company and products.
Okay, thank you very much for having me. All the best.
Thanks, guys. Talk to you soon.